New imports can make or break your BBL Supercoach season, and we're going to kick it off with our batters / wicketkeeper Jules. And you saw last year there was a couple of guys in Jamie Overton, in Big Tall Paul Walter, that came out and absolutely dominated the league. And if you didn't own them, you didn't finish in the top 1,000 basically, or if you picked them up a little bit late, like I did with both of them, getting them after they had their important doubles at the start where they outscored the other options. And looking in and deep diving on the stats is the best way to go about learning which one of these guys has the biggest opportunity to come out and do really well. And if you looked at Overton's stats from last year, I went through and just had a quick look at that whilst I was doing the stats for all these guys this year, and you're looking at strike rate as a batsman is going to be really important, and obviously the ability to take wickets, and he had both of those. You know, his batting average was only 19-20, and the strike rate was up at the 160 mark, which shows that if you can come out and get near that 20 runs, then you're picking up that extra 25 in bonus strike rate stats, which is really, really important. And obviously the role that they play is going to be super important as well. But in this video today, we're just going to go through the stats in relation to these imports, just to give you a bit more of an idea of, you know, what they can bring to the BBL and potentially to your favorite team or to your Big Bash Supercoach side, which is going to be super fun. None of this is going to be team related, so where they fit in their team, for example, is just going to be the stats today. And then when I go through each individual side, then I will go through where they fit. And there's been a really cool article already from Max Bryden with SC Playbook, who went through his predicted lineups for each team, and also some information on some guys that are potentially missing the opening round because of international duty. And you'll see that in yellow there, the guys that are expected to miss the opening round. And that's from his work there on the SC Playbook website. So go check that one out as well. But to kick things off, we have Shy Hope at 152k, who is an absolutely tremendous player. He's played a lot of international cricket, along with 134 games there. He's had a crack at batting in T20. So yeah, plenty to go from. And this is really important, I think, with guys coming over to a different league, is having that experience across different T20 leagues across the world, or even playing internationals. And Shy Hope has that there. There's a lot of guys at 152k, and we're going to start with three of them in Hope, Seyfarth there, and Ben Duckett, with Hope unfortunately expected to miss the opening round. So just keep him in mind for later rounds, because there are doubles to come from a lot of these players that even if they do miss that opening round there. But for Shay there, or Shy, I'm not exactly sure how to say that. Sorry about that. He has a 26 average there at 134 strike rate in 36 T20 internationals. And that improves a little bit to 27 the average, but the strike rate actually goes down in his overall 134 T20 game. So you look at that and you go, well, he needs to get over 20 to get strike rate bonuses, and if he's in the 130s, he's picking up some extra bicky as well, which is good. And then you put in the wicketkeeper bonuses that they can get with catches and with stumpings and the like there, and these, well, and the random run out that they seem to get, throwing it from from deep there, when they're back for the pace bowlers. You put that together, and these type of guys can have really, really nice scores there. So 26 for him, and you'll see as I go through all the players, all the differences in terms of their averages and their strike rates, and then you can look at which team they play for and make your own assumptions and make your own deductions from there as to who you're going to decide on picking. Tim Seyfarth next. He's a 25 average at the same 134 strike rate. He's played 58 T20 internationals, which is pretty cool as well. And then he's 27 at 131 strike rate in 213 hits in T20. So plenty of experience in there, a mid-20s average and a really solid strike rate. Just going to depend again where these guys bat in their orders. Are they at the top, in that top three, which is a spot that you want to be in? And do they have plenty of other opportunities, whether they're keeping or whether they get a bowl? And for these guys, that obviously is the batter wicketkeeper Jules. Ben Duckett next at 152k. I personally have him as the best batter on this list of the wicketkeeper batsmen and just the bat only guys. Just the quality you've seen from him, and his average says so as well. He's played 193 T20 matches there. He averages 31 at 139 strike rate, which is basically the same in the 12 T20 internationals that he's played. So 193 games is plenty. That's a lot of experience. He's currently playing in the test team for England, and he is expected to miss the opening round as well, which is tough, especially when he's with the Stars and he has the double in that first game. But yeah, that average speaks for itself. It's 5 or 6 more than Hope and Seyfarth there, and is obviously in plenty of form, and it is a very aggressive type of batsman, having a higher strike rate than those guys. So when he becomes available, when he gets a double on hand, I think he's going to be a really, really cool guy to have in your side. And it's fun to watch because he's aggressive in one days, and he's also aggressive in the test matches as well. But he's a better short form player, in my opinion, because you see there his average is about a 40 mark in tests, and he's getting up towards that average or better in his T20s and obviously the one days as well. For Tom Alsop, 117.5k. We get into two cheaper guys in Alsop and Matt Hurst here. 27 average for Tom at 130 strike rate and 74 hits. But unfortunately for Tom, it's no international games yet. And you do have to put them on a slightly higher pedestal. Even though a lot of the T20 comps around the world are pretty strong and they're getting a lot of international players, if you're looking at the Vitality Blast, if you're looking at playing in the IPL or you're playing in the Big Bash, there's a lot of really quality leagues in the world. But these guys are the new imports, the guys that haven't played over here before or very limited in terms of games. They didn't play last year. With Tom, it's a solid average, a solid strike rate, but it is only in 74 hits, so the experience is a little bit lower than the other guys, and also the fact that the strike rate's a tad lower and he hasn't played international at this point. But he does come at a cheaper price point than the three above. And then Matthew Hurst, with him, it's a little bit different. I think that he might be a bit more of a depth player. Maxi Bryan doesn't have him in his starting side currently for the team that he plays for. He's a 20-year-old. He has a 25 average, a nice strike rate. But does he get an opportunity from ball one? That's going to be the question with Matthew Hurst. So keep him in your thoughts. Anyway, a youngster with plenty of talent who hasn't played international yet either. On the batting side of things, Ollie Pope at 152k. He's going to have the odd good innings as a T20 player. In my opinion, he did get put on the map by playing T20s in England there, where he has a 28 average at 132. So a really strong start. He has a lot of inventive shots, and that's why he kind of got put on notice there. But in that 63 2020s he has played, but he's not currently in tremendous form. If you're comparing him with Duckett, for example, at the same price, he's also expected to miss the opening round there. And as I said, you're looking at current form as well. Sometimes it does translate. He's not as aggressive as someone like Duckett, or as the next person on this list in Finn Allen, who's at the same price, who's going to be with the Scorchers there. So he has a 24 average, the New Zealander, at 158 strike rate. So there's the alarm bells ringing. 158 strike rate means bulk points if he can get on a bit of a run. And he's going to be one of those players, in my opinion, that has the odd game where he goes absolutely nuts, but he's also going to hurt you in some games where he gets out for a duck, or because he's a slogger. Let's put him down as a crazy hitter of the cricket ball. But 47 T20 international games for him to get that 24 average at 158, but it pops out to 29 when he's not playing international at a 168 strike rate in 125 hits in all T20. So he's played enough. I think that's anything over 100 is really good experience as a T20 player. He has the best strike rate of anyone on the list that I'm going to go through today. So I definitely think he's going to play a part in this year's BBL, especially from the Supercoach side of things, and obviously helping the Scorchers as well. It's just going to be, when do you catch him? Do you catch him at the beginning of the year? Does he have a slow start and you pick him up a bit later? Or does it work out for you? That's probably the big question with Finn Allen. Sherfane Rutherford, 152k. He has a 26 average at 146 strike rate in 2020 international hits, which is pretty cool, especially for a guy that does bowl a little bit as well, but he's obviously more of a batsman and loving that strike rate. So he becomes very, very interesting, but the difference between him and Finn Allen is Finn's going to be there for the entire time, not expected to miss any games, especially in that first round, like a lot of these players are, whereas Sherfane is obviously going to miss that opening round there, most likely. So keep an eye on him. He has 23 average at 134, and his other 132 overall into T20 hits. So he actually played better internationally than he has overall. There's a few bowling stats, but he's unlikely to be used, I think, in his team. Keaton Jennings at 117.5, so back down to that price there, a 32.6 average at 130 strike rate. So you're looking at average, and that's the highest average you'll see on this list, but it's obviously not at international level. But I still think in 80, 20, 20 hits, that's a really, really solid average for someone of his experience and his caliber. And he actually has a 28 average as a bowler, which isn't so bad either. So him at that price, if he happens to get a role, there's a chance that he bats up the top of his order with the Scorchers as well next to Finn Allen. If that's the case, I think he's someone that a few people will take at that price point, given it's going to be a tough time trying to get short and Maxwell in your team, or even one of them. So you're going to have a few guys that are slightly cheaper to help you out as well. Moving into the bat bowl duel, guys, you've got Fabian Allen at 117.5. He has 24 wickets at an average of 30, so he's definitely a bowling all-rounder with a 7.5 for economy in 33 T20 internationals. And then he has 93 wickets in 177 games at a 27.7 average and 7.9 economy. So the economy is solid. It's not ridiculously great. We'll see a couple of guys later on down the track that are closer to the 7 mark in economy, and we've seen players in the Big Bash do really well around that number. Anything closer to the 8 mark isn't as good, so anywhere in the 7 seems about solid if you're looking at that economy rate. But the average is okay as well. But he obviously comes in with the bat as well. Has that duel, which is nice. Average is 15 with the bat at 136 strike rate in 27 hits in T20 International, which I think is really, really solid for a guy that's going to bat in the middle to late order. Again, it's going to depend on what his role is with his team, and he averages 16.75 at 141 strike rate in 112 hits overall. So again, someone is going to be expected to miss the opening round, but if he can get a role in the middle, like we saw with Jamie Overton, it's a very similar stat line, just with less games under his belt and a little bit younger than that of Jamie Overton. So yeah, an interesting one there at 117.5, and he'll come into calculations, I think, post round 1 when he gets over here. Jacob Bethel, another duel there, bat and bowl, 117.5k. He's had 2 hits internationally for 46 runs at 153 strike rate, which is a very, very low grouping of scores that you've got there. Sample size, that is. 23 average at 138 strike rate in his 42 overall hits in T20. He's obviously a youngster as well, 21 years old, expected to miss that opening round too. And for the bowling side of things, he's got 7 for 220 overall at an economy of 8 in 15 innings of bowling. So definitely a guy that I think will get a little bit on both sides of things. Is obviously more of a batsman than a bowler, different to that of Fabian. But both I think will have nice BBL seasons. It's just, do you end up selecting these guys given they miss the opening round? Do you end up getting them in your side at some point? And will they play a factor at the right time in your team? Rashad Hussain, he's the 85k guy. To me, he's one of the best value guys. Clearly the best value on this list, given he's the cheapest of a guy that can come over and can do some good stuff. So he has the second best average here with the ball. So 32 wickets at 21 and 8 and over in T20 internationals for a spinner is pretty impressive. And then he has 44 wickets at a 22 average and 8.3 overall economy. So you're looking to him with that low average to pick up wickets is the reason you have him in your side. And that at that price point, the economy rate, if you can have the odd good game economy-wise, then that would be awesome. And there will be games where he takes wickets, which is really, really cool. And he has a batting average of 10 in T20 internationals at 135. So I think he's a really good price if he even plays, because he's definitely expected to miss the opening round, but he may actually miss the tournament. So there's a little bit of chatter around that it might not happen for him. So yeah, that's definitely a worry on that front, but just keep an eye out. We've got over a month until games are played, but I think it's really important to learn who these guys are now, and then if they do fit into the side that you're looking to target, then that is going to be great for you and your BBL Supercoach side. Now a player I'm really excited about, and I've actually played cricket with him, Lockie Ferguson, came over to Southo when I was there in the preseason, which was really, really cool, because the reason was they don't get to play on turf in New Zealand in the preseason, so he wanted to come over and get a few games before their season started. And then within 6 months, he actually played, he actually debuted for New Zealand, so it was really, really cool. And just to add to the stories, the first time I've ever seen an opening batter in first grade back away to a fast bowler, in his first over, which was crazy. And he, didn't take too long, he ended up bowling him. But Lockie was impressive to watch and a good fella. So there you go. cool little story for you. So I'll be rooting for him. And I'm a Thunder fan as well, so I'm excited to watch him play for the Thunder. That'll be awesome. But he bowls fast. He's a wicket taker. He's getting a little bit older now, crazily enough. He's over 30, and he's going to likely bowl at the death, which is, as we know, when a lot of wickets are taken. 61 wickets for him at 17.7 and 7.1 economy in T20 internationals. By far, that's the best average on the list. And I think he's going to be super important come a bit later on in the rounds, in round 6, I believe, when they have their double. That's the only kind of annoying thing with him, is he's here for the season, but he's not going to be as relevant at the start, I think, when you're looking for players at this price to have doubles. Lockie also has 191 wickets at an average of 23 and 7.75 overall. So he actually plays better in the internationals when it's obviously pretty tough as well. So yeah, I think even at that 23 average at 7.75, he'll be a really valuable asset if he was to play that way in the Big Bash there. He's going to bat low, so don't worry too much about that. And then you have Jafar Chauhan at 117.5 as well, a bit cheaper. He has 22 wickets at 23. He's only played in the Vitality Blast in England there. He's a 22-year-old leggy, so a nice youngster there. He'll be there the whole time, which will be cool. Will he be used the whole time? That's probably the question. But 22 wickets at 23 at 7.86 as a leggy is really, really nice economy. And he averages 12 at 139 strike rate with the bat. So that's pretty solid. He can definitely do a job down there and will be an asset to his team at some point. And then Akil Haseen, also expected to miss the opening round with international duty. And that's the theory with all of them, is that there's so many tournaments happening around that Christmas time. So whether it's international, whether it's other T20 tournaments as well. So Akil, he dominated in his one game last year, got a 96 or whatever it was, 92. Incredible effort. He has 52 wickets at 28 average and a 7.3 economy rate in T20 internationals, which is a pretty solid feat there, especially that economy rate, a little bit lower than most on this list. And then 172 wickets at a 24 average and 6.99 overall economy. So that's the more impressive stat. He obviously didn't go as well internationally, but it shows on the T20 circuit, he has a lot of wickets, a lot of experience, is a little bit older, and it shows why he came in and did that, had that really important big game last year for that one game that he came in. And then he has a 15 batting average at 110 across both formats. They're pretty well even across the both. So he can come in and bat around that 7-8 mark and do a job. And obviously, as we get closer to the first round, which is on the 15th of December, just after my dad's birthday, which is fun, we will have much more of an idea on the imports, if any extra fringy players get signed, where guys are going to be come round 1, if they're actually going to be missing time, if they're going to be there or not. But just wanted to jump in. This is how I do it myself. I jump in and look at all the players individually, stats-wise, and then point out, I might be interested in that guy, or he'll be solid if he gets the role. Does this team have doubles? All the things you want to look at. I think that it's important to go through these guys first by the stats and just check that out and then go through and look at the team and everything else from there. I went back and looked at all of last year's teams, the players, the lineups, where it's set up, and I've also analysed the reasons why those guys would have worked, whether it was role, whether it was price, and if they had the ability for a bounce back, if they had a lighter season, these types of things, and you look at Overton and batting at 6 and likely to bowl, especially with his stats out there. It was very likely that he was going to come out and do well, and we'll be able to see that from guys on this list. We'll be able to see that when it comes to the non-import international guys as well. If they're pushed up into some type of role or an increased role, then that's going to be very helpful for them as well. So I went back and checked through that, and I'll show you that over the next week as well, and then we'll get into each individual side by the numbers, by the teams, by the predicted layouts, and kind of work out where roles might be available, and if players do get that role, can they be really great for their sides. So that's going to be really fun over the next bunch of weeks. As we get closer, I'll pop together a little team for myself or a couple of different options just so you guys can see. I know we love a team reveal, right? So we'll do that as well. And I look forward to continuing to go through these stats, and the next thing I'll do with these guys is how they fit their sides and the doubles and the role that they'll play in their sides as well. So it's going to be lots of fun. I've popped a couple of leagues as well, a couple of head-to-head leagues. I'll put 2 down there in the description. Please just join one. A few people have joined already, so that's cool. I'll once they fill up, I'll add some more down there as well. So thanks for that, and can't wait to do the next video.